Letting go is the willingness to change your beliefs in order to bring more peace and joy into your life, instead of holding on to beliefs that bring pain and suffering. Why does everyone seem to pursue happiness over sadness in our lives? This question popped up in my head when I was talking to my friends a while ago, and they told me about what they wanted to do and achieve this year and how excited they were to pursue those things in order to have a good life. It was interesting to me because we all talked about things that would help us feel positive, but none of us talked about pursuing things that would make us feel terrible. I mean, why would we even think about pursuing something that would make us feel negative, right? I guess a scientific approach to this question, which I researched on the internet, is that our brain loves serotonin, which is known as the happy hormone. When we do something that will give us pleasure like happiness, our brain releases lots of serotonin. Then these hormones will keep stimulating our nerve endings, which will indicate our brain to do more of the stuff to keep it going. That is the state of being happy. I look at it as a biological addiction that we don't really notice, but it helps us create habits like exercising or eating healthy regularly. It may also create habits that we don't necessarily want. This is because our brain releases serotonin that makes us feel happy in the moment, regardless of what those habits are, and we might get stuck with them. However, morally speaking, serotonin works perfectly because being happy will make others around you also happy, which will make them do positive things. It keeps going like a ripple effect, which supports creating a great atmosphere and peace within society. When we talk about being happy, I guess a lot of us mention wealth as an important element of finding happiness. When you search the definition of wealth on the internet, it defines it as an abundance of valuable possessions or money. I thought this was interesting that we globally define wealth as a wholly money-based idea. In order to be wealthy, we supposedly have to focus on accumulating an abundance of valuable possessions. In the old days, the royal families, lords, merchants, etc. had all the money, land, and material possessions. In the meantime, everyone else just served them in one way or another, and they had no land, very little money, and no way of hierarchically moving up in life. I'm sure that it was super hard for those people to be happy or fulfilled when their family and themselves were starving. They don't have much with no hope of ever achieving anything truly better in life. This is why the happiness of those people was tied to how much money or the possessions such as the amount of land that they had. As a result, I believe that the word wealth became more commonly used to describe how much money and possessions someone has rather than describe how happy they are. But I would like to raise a question here. Is this way of thinking still perfectly relevant to our society? As technology, science, and economic advancement have pulled us out of such terrible situations, I truly believe that a lot of us live much better lives than the commoners who lived in the past. If you think about it, most of us already have fundamental human needs, such as a roof over our heads, food on the table, clothes to wear, and forms of transportation such as cars, local train, and buses to get to places that we like, etc. Yet our definition of wealth has heavily remained focused on material possessions, although the situation seems to be a lot different in comparison to the past, just because we cannot let go of this old perspective towards wealth. I felt like I personally needed a better definition of what wealth really is, so I decided to think about this and slowly let go of the old perspective of wealth and redefine the word wealth as happiness, fulfillment, and well-being, not the accumulation of material possessions. I compare material possession to my appetite. Obviously, when I don't have anything in my stomach, I need food to survive. So I start eating, and as I consume more, I become happier and literally filled inside. But once I get enough food inside my body, if I keep eating more, it doesn't bring me more happiness. In fact, it might do the opposite because I would start feeling like throwing up. So what I mean by this analogy is that accumulating money and material possessions is an important element because they provide us with comfort, convenience, and experience to live life. However, I believe it's also important to note that having more of those things doesn't always mean that you become happier, as they're just a part of happiness and fulfillment. Until about a few years ago, I must tell you that I was not happy or content with my life, although I had the basic human needs that I mentioned before. As for me, the main reason why I would often feel unhappy and unsatisfied with my life was because of my own high expectations towards myself, like I should be doing this, experiencing that, purchasing these items at the age of X, Y, and Z, for instance. The expectations were formed by information that I was receiving from pretty much anything around me, like people, TV, social media, etc. on a daily basis. So I put a lot of pressure on myself, and if I wasn't achieving things that I thought I was supposed to, I didn't feel great no matter what I did, because at the end of the day, I hadn't conquered my high expectations. I thought I was chasing wealth in order to pursue happiness, but instead, it felt like I was running on a never-ending treadmill, which made me only feel suffocated, and I couldn't feel that I was getting anywhere to the state of mind that I hoped for. If something is not working out, no matter how hard I try, I strongly believe that there have to be other ways to tackle it. So I decided to let go of my old perspective of wealth and redefine the word that works for me, because I knew that there wasn't only one way, but so many ways to interpret this word. Then I started noticing that a lot of my sufferings or the negative feelings were created not because of external factors like people around me, information through TV and the internet, but within myself. Thanks to this realization, I now feel that my life is wealthy because I learned the importance of letting go of the beliefs, expectations, and perspectives that don't work for me, and being flexible to welcome different and new ideas to my life, no matter how old I am. As a Japanese person, I am truly grateful for what Japan offers in terms of the quality of products, services, food, etc. But I believe this comes with a huge cost, which is that our expectations of happiness tend to be high, because these things can be seen as amazing from somebody who doesn't grow up in Japan, but these are the normal standards for people growing up in Japan. I believe this is a part of the reason why I used to have a challenging time feeling happy regularly, because my standards were set to be extremely high without noticing it. But I paid more attention to the things that happen around me, like public transportations always come on time, the quality of hospitality, izakayas and restaurants that open late and provide you with amazing food even if they are really cheap, etc. Then I finally realized how amazing and insane the things that I already have in my life are, and feel thankful for the people that make this happen. I cannot believe that I used to think these things were normal, but I guess I feel like this now because I grew up a little bit compared to the past. I believe that money and material possessions are an important element to finding happiness and fulfillment in life. And I'm not saying that you should set your standards low so that you can be happier. But I think having the balance between appreciating what you already have in life and the exciting expectations of what you might accumulate in the future will bring you more peace within yourself, because it's just tiring to only keep focusing on what you don't have all the time. That's the end of the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed this topic. If you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up, because when you hit the like button, the YouTube algorithm helps my channel grow and reach people who are interested in the topics that I discuss on my channel. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please consider subscribing, and I'll keep striving to create videos that are worth your time. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!